We now return to Medical Wonders.
Spring 1996, and word was spreading across Alberta about Tony Stephan's improbable discovery. Bipolar disorder had claimed his wife, and 2 of his kids had begun showing signs of the mental illness. But he had stumbled onto a pig feed nutrient supplement, concocted by feedlot manager David Hardy. It seemed to eradicate the disorder. News of the incredible treatment for Tony's son Joe and daughter Autumn traveled fast.
People would just come out of the blue. They'd say, hey, look, I'm hearing about what you're doing in southern Alberta. We're up in Edmonton. Can you come and help my wife? Do you think that she could try this?
With 1% of North Americans suffering from bipolar disorder, Tony knew there were 3 million people and their families suffering just like his family.
I want to see it so that the Autumns and the Josephs of the world will be able to have a life, be able to function on their own, to find happiness, because that's what life is all about. We need to get across is the fact that
Tony and David decided they had a moral obligation to make the supplement available to anyone who asked for it.
I think within the first month or 2, we started sharing this with other people in small groups.
Tony and David mixed up small batches of the supplement to give to everyone who asked for it.
And we actually paid for the product because we couldn't expect people to buy this because it was so experimental. And we would hand these out to these individuals and we'd say, okay, give us a try.
But they would only provide the supplement on one very important condition.
You do this for 60 days. We're going to give this to you. There's no charge for it. But if you take it, you have to do this. And what we do is we want you to work with your doctor so he's aware or she's aware of what you're doing.
By the summer of 1996, there was so much demand for their homemade nutrient supplement, Tony and David decided to incorporate. They formed a company called the Synergy Group and began researching places to mass produce the product.
These products represent some of the stages that we've gone through in the development of the current product that we have.
It was trial and error. David found levels of essential minerals could fluctuate, depending upon the supplier, making the dosage inconsistent. Yet, as they handed out their latest samples of their prototypes, the success story spread. By 1999, they had so many requests for information, they set up another non-profit company called Truehope to manage a website and provide information. It took almost 3 years to come up with a product that they felt most closely matched the first batch. But they knew it would be tough to manufacture and sell the supplement in Canada because of health regulations. So they went south to the United States and went into mass production at a plant in Farmington, Utah. They named their product Essential Minerals Power Plus, or EM Power, and began selling it by mail order. To date, over 3,000 people in Canada and the US spend over $100 a month to take the pills every day. Today, requests for EM Power Plus are channeled through 4 call centers like this one in a 2-story industrial park in Lethbridge, Alberta.
Truehope Support Center, how may I direct your call?
The call centers are staffed by people who now take EM Power.
Now, I'm a bipolar 1 rapid cycler. The only thing I take is a supplement. I have a brand new life. The loading dose is 32 pills a day. You take them 4 times a day, and you wouldn't want to take them on an empty stomach. We do encourage that your doctor get involved. If you can talk to him, we'll send out information or even talk to him if he's willing.
I'll talk to you in a month. Bye-bye.
What qualifies them to give advice to people about any nutritional product for psychiatric problems?
Not everyone has leapt on the EM Power bandwagon.
I pay attention to the kind of things that are hyped on the internet and on television. This has to be some kind of dubious product.
Dr. Terry Polivoy is a dermatologist in Waterloo, Ontario. Polivoy runs a website called Canadian Quackery Watch.
If the phone's being answered by lay people who may be psychiatric patients themselves, they could be manic depressive, they could be delusional, they could be schizophrenic, they can have all sorts of conditions. My fear is basically, and we've had reports from some patients, if they stop their present medication, they're going to have a relapse and end up getting very sick and ending up in hospital, and potentially we could even see a suicide attempt or something like that.
And other doctors share Polovoy's fears. Even Autumn's former doctor, Klaus Gendeman, is skeptical about her recovery.
This may well be just a spontaneous remission. There are people who've had manic depression at some point in their lives, and it does not continue for all of their life. So I don't know.
6 years is a long time to be in remission for someone that was as severe as what she was with her
I'd like to know
psychotic.
where he gets the information that bipolar goes into remission. I wonder how many times he's seen that in his career.
While specialists might not call it remission, they do concede a 6-year lapse in symptoms is unusual. But Dr. Gendeman has a lot more questions about EM Power Plus.
Is it potentially toxic? Is it neurotoxic over time, a cumulative effect? I don't know. But I certainly wouldn't want to be the one trying this and finding out at some later point that there is some potential long-term negative effect.
But when I described to him what I was doing with the vitamins and minerals, he just said, I don't know about this. I don't know how that works. I think you have to be careful. If you're taking megadoses, it can hurt your liver. And I just said, well, so Haldol, Rivotril, Ativan, Epival, Cogentin, that's not going to hurt my liver?
And just as prescription drugs don't work for some bipolar patients, EM Power Plus sometimes doesn't work either. Laura Foster is a patient of Dr. Gendeman's. He agreed to supervise Laura as she tried EM Power Plus just before a big family wedding.
I was getting really excited about having people here, and then I just got really wound up and I couldn't sleep, and I started going for a few days without sleep, and I know that that is a sign that I could be going up, could be going manic.
For Laura, the supplement had little benefit, and the side effects were severe. About 4% of people on EM Power have to quit due to nausea and intestinal upset.
By the end of 6 months, I was still having problems with the nausea and just not feeling good, and I felt my spirits, my overall mood just really went down.
The harm that they're doing is they're promising people something they can't deliver. Do they have insurance if some of these patients get sick? I mean, do they make people sign waivers? Who is supervising this?
If you're going to say, well, you don't have this proof that it works and you don't have that proof, well, give us an opportunity to show then with the research. Just let the research go forward and we'll all see. That seems to be the fair way to do it, and that's something that I can understand. Wanting to shut it down prematurely, to me, indicates that you have an agenda.
Yeah.
And that's how we feel about Terry Polovoy.
I think most of the critics of the supplement have never been sick. I mean, people are desperate. And if you've never been there, you don't know how good it feels to be well. And so say what you want. I'm well, and I know plenty of people that are, and that's a wonderful thing. It doesn't really matter what other people think.
Everyone agrees on one thing. EM Power Plus needs to be validated by science.
We knew that the world wasn't ready to take this from the hog feed salesman and the engineer. We knew we had to go beyond that and legitimize this with real research.
So Tony Stephan and David Hardy set out to turn the skeptics into believers.